Hey, welcome everybody to Trap Souls Podcast. I am here with Spooky Bro 316.
Dude, what a bitchin' intro that was, man. That is hot to the trot, boss. I dig that.
That took me like 5 days to make, so 8 seconds worth it. My wife will be pleased.
Dude,
So,
yeah, you tell your wife that you deserve a good cuddle for that one.
so how's Nate doing?
I'm good, man. Right before we hopped on here, I had to go clean cat litter. So I ran upstairs. I got a little huffing and puffing going down, man, because I was like, okay, I got to rock this out. And then I lost track of time. I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to be late because I was scooping the poos. But, dude, I made it, grabbed a Prime and a Diet Canada Dry. And, bro, that's a Friday night for Nate Dogg. I'm ready to pop, man.
Yeah, so we're a couple minutes behind, and that was kind of my bad there. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm like, dude, I never sent him the link. So that was my bad. I apologize for that. So paranormal wise, like you always say, you tell people stories. I watch a lot of your videos. So how does that relate to the paranormal? Do you investigate? What do you do here?
Man, I have been on a lot of investigations. I just went on one recently and I found that investigating, man, it's just not really my thing. I am much more fascinated with the stories behind the investigations and also the investigators. Uh, I think that's really what I do, man. I'm a storyteller. I'm an author. I've got a couple books coming out. I have one coming out. I'm working on a second one. And it took me forever to really kind of figure out, like, I was having an identity crisis because, in this world, everybody investigates. And I thought, man, I have so many paranormal groups that follow me. I'm going to be such a letdown because I get invited to investigations and I'm always like, man, that's not really my thing. I'll do a tour of the place, but I want you guys to investigate and then tell me what you found. Get some good stuff, some good evidence, and then let me tell your story for you and just be your publicist, be your hype man. And try to hype up everybody in this community and support everyone. So I have, man, I really got into investigating between 2017 and 2019, but I brought something home with me at an investigation and it attacked my wife. Until that happened, I was a complete skeptic. I didn't believe. I mean, one of my best friends, he owns Road Trip Paranormal here in Wichita, Kansas, and he takes people all over the state of Kansas to paranormal sites, which there are a lot in Kansas. And I would go with him and I would explore, and they have all kinds of things happen, but they're almost like circumstantial. As a scientist, it's easy, unless you're a full-on hardcore believer, it's easy to say, well, that could be coincidence. Like if you have a K2 meter and it starts popping to one side and the other, it's like, okay, well, we ran into some, some electro type stuff, or maybe a setting isn't properly grounded or something, or at least that's how I would explain it in my head.
Yeah.
Or like a flashlight, you would set it up and it would come on. I couldn't explain it, but I could see what was happening, but it wasn't convincing enough for me. And you turn on a ghost box and you get a little and every once in a while you drop a word or something, and I'm like, man, that's some bullshit right there. I just don't buy into it. But then I had some real stuff happen, and that was real and personal to me. And now I believe all of it. Now I believe that there is a world out there that we don't understand.
Yeah.
It scares me. So it's not something that I specifically want to interact with, but I am drawn to the people who like to interact with it. So that's kind of where I fit into this. I like to talk to investigators and get their stories. And then I like to go to that place and just kind of tell their story, almost like a paranormal journalist, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, like you said, like human nature, we need an explanation for everything.
Hmm.
That's just us. And that goes way back in the day. And I always said this, like, gods, how were gods created? Volcano happens. They didn't know why it happened. Oh, God must be mad at me. A rock gets dropped in a cave. That's a god. Like, there has to be an explanation for everything.
Yeah.
And still to this day, that's our human nature. So when we can't fully explain something, a lot of people go, that didn't happen. Or it was because of the electricity or whatever. There's always the excuse of why there's no paranormal until you have an experience yourself, which you did. So
Yeah, man. And once I had a shared experience with my wife, if it would have happened to just me, and if I would have been the only one that it would have, I would have tried to talk myself out of what I saw. But
yeah,
because it simultaneously happened to my wife and she reacted to it the same way that I did, and it scared her so bad that she didn't talk about it with me until the next day. And when we did talk about it, she saw the exact same thing that I saw. And I was like, okay, there's no, I mean, like I said, man, so when I say a scientist, my bachelor's is in exercise science and my master's is in gerontology. So I'm not no astrophysicist over here.
yeah,
I'm a physiologist, but at least I trust the scientific principles. So I would have talked myself out of this. But then when my wife ex- described exactly what I saw, it was just too random of a coincidence. And at that point, it made sense, and I was like, okay, well, this is what I saw, and she corroborated my story, and that was that. And I was like, holy crap, okay, there is stuff out there. But then once that happened, Ryan, it was like a stream of other things started to happen, and now there are times when I see things out of the corner of my eye that I'm 99% convinced that something is there. And when I turn around, nothing's there.
yeah,
Or I'll see flashes. Or in our house, my mom a few years ago actually collapsed in our house. And because her and my dad were watching my son was 3 at the time. So my wife and I we went to work, and my mom and my dad took care of my son during the day. And she collapsed and she actually died at our house. Now I had to do, it sounds terrible. My wife and I, we had to do CPR on her. And between us and the firefighters and the first responders, we brought her back and we were able to give her a couple more weeks. She was, I mean, she could open her eyes but she wasn't herself anymore. But
yeah,
she was still alive for a couple weeks. My brother, who's a professor at Penn State, he was able to come in with his wife and say their goodbyes. And then my mom passed a couple weeks later. But because of that event that happened in our house, random and weird stuff happens now that we have my son who's 6 and my daughter who just turned 1. Last week, my daughter was super sick. She has, in her whole 16 months of being alive, she has never been this sick. And she had influenza B, is what she was diagnosed with. So they're on spring break. I'm at work, and my wife takes the first half of the week off to stay with the kiddos. And my son has a puzzle that is put high up on a shelf. I didn't even know it was there anymore, and I'm pretty sure my wife had forgotten that it was there. And all of a sudden, it just starts going Grandma Shark, but it didn't do that do 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 do. It just repeated Grandma Shark 3 times, and then it said Grandma, Grandma. I mean, what the balls is that? So my wife said, "All right, Kathy," that was my mom's name. "All right, Kathy, we know you're here. Penelope's going to be fine." So sometimes if you're not a believer, it's easy to write those things off. But when you are a believer, it kind of gives me comfort knowing that, okay, there are things looking out for us here. There's more to this life than just what we interact with and experience here. Um, so yeah, man, I'm a believer. So since my friend Jason, who owns Road Trip Paranormal, he says that if you're cut off from it, you'll never accept that things are happening. But once
Yeah.
he says, let it in, once you open yourself up to it and allow it to interact with you, you'll start to notice. And he always says, if you're not a believer in ghosts, set up a camera in your room while you sleep. And if you have the courage, watch. It may take you a week, watch an hour at a time, but set up something in your room and it won't be long before you're a believer. Things will move, things will happen, and it will scare the bejesus out of you because you never know you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And I've never had the courage to do that, but I'm a believer now. So yeah, man, it's wild how things happen, because I think that was the reason I wanted to get into the paranormal. Is I was so afraid of death. And I had a kind of like I had a panic attack when I was in graduate school. I thought I was having a heart attack. So I kind of had a moment of, they call it like a come to Jesus moment with my mortality, that one of these days I won't be here anymore. And it really kind of threw me into a depression. So then I started seeking, okay, what can make me feel better? And a lot of people in that situations, Ryan, they turn to religion. They
Yes.
turn to religion to calm them about death, to calm them that there's something bigger. But religion has never really resonated with me. That's okay for the people that it has, but it just hasn't resonated with me. And so I had to seek it out and find answers. And I think that's why I'm always so fascinated with other people's experiences, because I've had my own, but now I'm curious with other people's experiences and where they have experienced things. Like for you, Ryan, what got you into this, man? So it's funny. Every time I go on a podcast, that I
Yeah.
start talking, but then I'm like, I do the interview because I'm so passionate about the other people.
Yeah, I mean, so reverse podcast, I guess we're going here now. So,
The reverse, baby.
um, so when I was a kid, I think I was in seventh grade, I walked down the steps, and I told the story before. We had one bedroom. We're renovating a house. When you walked out of my bedroom, there's an open room to the left before you went down the steps. I walked out, saw a lady, old lady sitting there floating, just it was a ghost. Walked out. I said, "Hey, what's up?" And I walked down the steps. Got to the kitchen. My mom was down there, and I like shook my head and I kind of looked up, and she's like, "Did you see her?" I'm like, because first I thought maybe I was just tired, I just woke up. But my mom was like, "Oh, did you see her?" I'm like, "Yeah." So that kind of got me fascinated to it. Then life goes on, and whatever. And same with your experience. You go kind of, I don't want to call it midlife crisis because I was younger, but I mean, you go through the anxiety of
Yeah.
like you get scared to die. I mean, that's the gist of it. I went through a rough patch, um, flipped out, was very scared of leaving this earth. But doing these podcasts, talking to all these people has changed my perspective in life. And you live for today and live for tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I live my life now. So, like you said, you don't do paranormal. I love doing investigations, but I love these better. I'm not going
Mm-hmm.
to lie. I
Mm-hmm.
love doing podcasts. And next year, I think I want to concentrate more on podcasts because I love talking to people about the paranormal, getting to know them. And again, you always come out with more questions than answers,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what we're supposed to do in life. So,
Yeah, man. And we need more curious people like yourself leading the charge for the people who are the diehard investigators, who have the stories to tell. They need a channel, they need a medium, somewhere they can go and have those conversations, because there is such an audience of people who feel just like we do, that are having trouble coming to grips with their mortality. Like I said, I'm a gerontologist, so I work with a lot of older people. I'm 42 myself, and most of my clients are 65 and older. So I'm dealing with people who are much closer to the sunlight of their life than I am, hopefully. And hearing their wisdom and their stories, a lot of times they're really at peace with moving on to the next thing. I'm not, I feel like I've still got so much to do. So exploring the unknown just brings me comfort. Um, I mean, man, it goes back to when I was a kid, and we're probably about the same age, Ryan. We grew up in the era of the Ghostbusters cartoon. So, dude, I lived off of the Ghostbusters, and I wanted to be a Ghostbuster. And so, even from a young age, the concept of ghosts was just beat into my brain, and I wanted it so bad. And then there was a time in my teenage years and in my 20s, I shut off from that, but then came back to it later on in life. And yeah, man, the this whatever Spooky Bro is has opened some really cool doors for me, in the
Yeah.
sense that I kind of get to go explore some cool places. Like I get to go to Gettysburg. I was invited to go to Gettysburg, and I go in July, and I'm going to get to stay on the farm, Rose Farms, and where one of the biggest battles of the Civil War happened. And they're going to do an investigation. But like I said, I'm just excited to be there. I'm working on trying to go visit the Amityville house in New York. I'm working on trying to get into Roswell, New Mexico, to get onto the ranch where the supposed crash of 1947 happened. And if I didn't have this channel, or I didn't have this thing that I do, I would never get those opportunities. And
Right.
my son, being 6, I think part of it is he has an interest and a curiosity with it, but he also wants to share experiences with dad. And right now, I'm cool in his eyes. I won't be cool in his eyes forever. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And we have a goal that we want to do together. And man, if it happens, I don't know what I'm going to do, because that's like the ultimate bucket list. But we want to go stay a night in Dracula's castle in Romania. So we're working towards that, man. But I've got some really cool places that I want to go and look at, and it just seems as my platform expands, uh, some of those opportunities come up. I'm not someone who cares about followers or views or numbers or anything like that, but I noticed that as those things do expand for me, more opportunities arise, which
Yeah.
just gives me more incentive to continue. Um, and it all comes down to being able to explore the unknown with my son while he wants to do that. My wife she could care less. She's like, okay, go do your thing, whatever. And she's like, but hopefully hopefully people will donate to you, so one of these days she doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to.
Yeah. I mean, you said right there, like followers are followers, but it has opened up an avenue,
Yeah.
and it's great. Like, I'm not huge on ads. I don't ask for followers. I don't ask for anything. Do I want followers? Yes. The main reason I want followers is so people get to see people like you
Mhm.
and some of these smaller groups that have, less followers, get to know you. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about. This is what my podcast is about. Me getting to know you, my audience getting to know you.
Yeah,
Um,
man, and building a really cool community, like this mid-tier paranormal community is growing, and it's really cool, and it's also worldwide. I have some pretty strong followers, and I follow them as well, that are in the UK and Amsterdam. There are some really cool paranormal groups. Like I said, this spans, and this interest is worldwide.
uh,
And, like you and I were talking about off camera, the drama and the competition, I don't understand it. But maybe because I don't investigate, and I don't care about that stuff, maybe that's why I don't get involved with that. But I I'm surprised of how little camaraderie there is, because it's such a cool community, but it's almost like people are trying to fight for this audience, and it shouldn't be like that. There's everybody wants to explore, and I think people should work together more often.
yeah, because we're all here for the answer. right?
Mhm.
We want to know about the unknown. So why fight? I mean,
Exactly.
the people that fight are like, I'm gonna make a living out of this. Newsflash, you're not. Okay, that's life. This is way too many people in this
Mhm.
field that you're gonna actually make a living off of this. There's a few that do. 99% are not going to.
Yeah. And that's the thing that man, I so when I played music professionally, the band that I was with, we got to play all over the country. At one point, you could buy our CD at Target and Best Buy and Walmart. We played the Bonnaroo Music Festival. We played South by Southwest. We were rocking and rolling, man. But there were so many times where we thought we were about to break through, and it never happened. To where now I don't have those delusions of grandeur like I used to, where I was like, "Man, I'm gonna be the next big thing." Now I don't care. I'm too old. I'm not that good looking, and I figure that a lot of those types of gigs go to the younger, super good looking people, and I'm not either of those. So I just want to do silly stuff, and maybe people who like Jack Black will think I'm funny.
No, I mean, you said like camaraderie, drama. I think the drama in this field goes up and down like the stock market. You know, when I started this a few years ago, it was high. Everybody's like drama, drama, drama. Now it's low. Para-uni does not exist. It does. You just got to find the right people to do it, just like in real life. You may hate me. You might not get a vibe from me. Doesn't mean you have to investigate with me. You move on. That's what life is about. Same with all these groups. So, yeah, it goes up and down. I mean, para-uni is something. I am going to the UK
Dude,
in
that's
June.
awesome. Legit, man. What are you doing in the UK?
I'm investigating 5 places. I am going
Wow,
solo.
dude,
I'm
awesome. Awesome.
like you talked about avenues of approach, right? Sorry, that's a
Mhm.
term that we use
I
in my
love
work.
that. I'm stealing that shit, Ryan. Avenues of approach. I like, dude, that comes into some professional world stuff that you're much more professional than I am. Avenues of approach. Oh, that
Uh,
is sexy.
so it was an avenues of approach, I guess. I had a couple people on my show from the UK. I told them I might knock on your door one day. Guess what? I'm knocking on your door. So I'm going out there. Emma from Ghostly Gatherings, Emily Paranormal from
Emily
the UK.
Paranormal, she's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
I'm
someone who started following me, and I was like, "Who is this?" And the more that I started getting into her stuff, she is so sweet and she is awesome. So, dude, hell yeah, Ryan, she's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, I'm going to meet them. That's
Cool.
what I'm doing. I'm going out there and I'm investigating with Emily and Emma from Ghostly Gatherings. I might get sacrificed. I don't know. Like I'm going out there solo. I'm flying out by myself. But if I get sacrificed, I'm gonna have a good time before. So it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and but you see, now that you told the spook bro here that you're going with Emily and Emma, I'll know. And then if my boy Ryan goes up missing, it's like, all right, ladies, what's going on here? This better not be some hostile stuff.
No, I
Good
mean,
for you, man. When do you go?
June 5th, I'm flying out. So
Holy crap, man. You're staring that down, dude. Are you getting just amped up?
yeah, I told you this is my excitement right here. This
Yeah.
is it. So no, I mean it's cool. And this comes back from talking to a lot of other people. I talked to Chris Boggs, the mortician. He was on my podcast
Mhm.
and he laid it down straight. You live, you die. It all depends what you do in between.
Yeah.
So once he said that, I'm like, F it. I'm going to UK. I'm
Yeah,
gonna live.
dude.
I'm gonna live.
That is
Uh,
so cool. And they're in there's some YouTube influencers, some younger guys who are multimillionaires, and I don't know if they're all full of it or not, but sometimes you'll hear some really good things. And Alex Hormelzi is a guy, he talks about, think of the most famous people in the world. Think of the presidents of the United States, for example, the most powerful people in the world. Um, when they die, after there's the big funeral or whatnot, people just forget like it never
yeah,
happened. These are the most powerful people in the world. And so who are we? And it's like, you know what? When we pass, our families will grieve us. the next generation might grieve us, but after 2 generations, man, for the most part, nobody's going to remember who we are. So why on earth would we hold back while we're here?
Right. I mean, I always say, can I remember my great grandfather's name? No,
Yeah,
I
and
can't.
I'm sure they did awesome things. It takes nothing
Oh,
away
yeah.
from them, but this is the nature of humanity. It's the circle of life. So damn it, we are not going to hold back while we're here, Ryan.
No, have fun like you. Go out and have fun. That's what you're creating memories with your son right now.
Yep.
And that's all that matters.
At the end of the day, brother, like so I'll tag people in my posts. When I post, I'll tag different groups. I usually try to tag 10 people, give them a little bit of a shout out. For a while, I would tag certain people and then other people would send me messages like, "Hey, why are you, like what are you friends with this person? Why are you, and then I would tag the other people and then they would be like, "Why are you tagging this person?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, man, you guys are driving me nuts here. I don't understand this." So, dude, F it. Who cares, man? Like, ride the lightning, bro. I'm so pumped that you are going to the UK. Wow. Bitching, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's gonna be great. I was texting Stephanie from Haunted Havens the other day. I'm like,
Mhm.
she collects haunted dolls. I'm not into haunted dolls. I believe 99.9% aren't haunted. I'm like, do you want me to bring your haunted doll back? Like, and she's like, dude, that would be awesome. I'm like, just let you know, my plane crashes on the way back. I am going to haunt you for life. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like, it's gonna be game on from there on out. So
So, Ryan, you don't believe in the haunted dolls, and I only bring that up because it seems as though in our community, the haunted doll thing is very popular. A lot of people are doing the haunted doll thing. Um, I I I think that the idea of it scares me to death because dolls are creepy as shit. But I I I get asked if I believe in it or not, and I don't know. I know that my friend Jocelyn has invited me to see her purple room. I don't know if I'll probably one of these days I'll go try it out. But I don't know. Do you believe that entities can attach, and how do you know they're haunted? Like what's your opinion of all that?
so go back 15 years ago. How many haunted dolls were there?
Nothing until The Conjuring came out with Annabelle, and I think that triggered something.
Yes. So do I believe stuff can attach to certain things? Yes. Do I believe if you look at a doll and you think it's haunted, it's haunted? No, I don't. So I believe majority of dolls out there are just not haunted. They're just creepy looking. Just because they're creepy looking, or you go to an antique store, doesn't make them haunted. That's my belief.
Mm. I'm always I'm always nervous to examine those haunted dolls, man. If they, because who am I to,
Yeah.
to tell some of these believers that I like really are they really haunted? How do you know? But I'm telling you, man, they're the people who believe it firmly believe, and they'll go as in depth and figure out the backstory and the story of who they believe is attached to it, and it's just so interesting to me. And there are people out there who think it's a gimmick. I'm in between, man. I don't really know how I feel about it, but hell, more power to the people who are doing it.
Well, again, spirits want to be heard, right?
Mhm.
So if you're talking to a doll and a spirit knows that, why wouldn't they attach themselves to the doll? Because they want to be heard. It is a vessel, I guess. So, I mean, could they be haunted? Yes. Am I going to test that theory? Hell no. Like, the last thing I needed is a haunted doll in my house. I think I have one in my house.
Really?
Yeah. That thing, that little effer has been locked in the attic for like 13 years.
Oh man, in chains. I love it.
And change. I keep meaning to break it out. I just haven't got the courage yet.
Dude,
So
I tell you, man, dolls creep me out. My wife, she used to have several dolls in our old house, and I was like, these aren't coming to our new one. They give me the spooks, man. And I went with a paranormal team, Drop Dead Paranormal with Heather and Carissa. A couple weeks ago, we went into Topeka, Kansas, and went to an area and explored that area. And in this mansion, there was a doll room, and it was reported that dolls, their eyes would open and close. And I didn't even go in there. I didn't even go in there. It just, man, it gives me the heaves and the jeebs. And yeah, dolls creep me out. But I think that's interesting. But then, like, I wasn't in the paranormal community to know before the Conjuring series came out and the Annabelle hype and whatnot. I wasn't around to know if there were people that were doing the haunted doll thing. Or if it's more of a result of those movies and that popularity. But I tell you what, man, when those guys, whoever is in control of that doll, it was just on tour recently, and
yeah.
that sucker drew a lot of big crowds, man. But it makes me wonder, like and I don't really understand the background of it. I haven't taken the time to know. Do you know the background of the Annabelle doll?
Yeah, I know it.
Is there something attached to it? They say like it's a demon. It's a demonic presence. So then why would a blessed glass keep that, keep a demon in, especially for those who aren't religious?
From my understanding, there's scriptures on it, and they have a priest coming once a week to bless it.
Okay.
So is it haunted? I don't know. Would I hold it? Probably. I mean, that's just me. Will they ever take out the case? No. So, but would I hold it? Yeah. I'm not scared of dolls. I'm not scared of attachments. I'm not scared of anything until it happens.
Mhm.
So that's just me. I mean, if it's gonna happen, it'll happen. That's my theory. So everybody's always scared of attachments.
Do
And
you feel like, Ryan, you've ever been in the presence of true evil?
evil, no. Assholes, yes.
Now, assholes in the human sense or in the spiritual sense?
Spiritual. Like I mean, obviously, human sense, that's common
Yeah.
in life nowadays. But in a spirit sense, yeah. I mean, just because someone's mean to you in a spiritual sense doesn't make them demonic.
Mhm.
It just makes them a bad person.
Do you believe in a demonic realm?
I do, because if you believe there's angels, you have to believe there's demons.
Mhm.
They go hand in hand.
Mhm.
So yes, I do believe in demonic. Do I believe demonic is haunting like someone said Penhurst on the thing? No. Demonic will break you down. It takes a while to break you down. So they're not going to be at these pay to play places. They're going to be in your house.
Mhm.
They're going to break you down that way because they need to see you every day. And that's the way they'll break you down. I don't think the places we investigate have demonic. They're just dark entities.
So what do you think makes an entity dark?
I think they're just, again, they're assholes in life.
Mhm.
So when you're that way and you are in control, we'll take Fairfield County as an example. The superintendent he was in charge. It was not a nice place. When he passed, he still believes he's in charge. So he will take energy from other people and create that dark entity. That's my
So
belief.
do you have you ever been anywhere where you felt scared or you felt that you might be in danger?
I think the latest would be Madison Seminary.
Now, what's that?
It's a seminary. It was a boys' school. It was a female psychiatric house. It was Civil War era also to house Civil War like widows or wives that, that need help. So the doctor up there has an evil presence. I think he's just an asshole.
Mhm.
So I've been there 15 times. I always call him out because he's always mean to females. The last time I told someone to lock me in that back room, the hallway, lock me in. I'm cool with it. It felt so bad up there.
Wow.
Like my tune had changed. Like I was cool, like, hey, dude, come get me. I'm here, me and you. Because he always messes with females.
Mhm.
Yeah, it took about 10 minutes. I felt bad. Nothing happened, but I was like, hey, dude, we're cool. Like, I was just messing with you for the last 15 times, man. Like,
So
we're
you
cool.
were intimidated, like you felt something awful there.
Yes.
Wow.
It
Wow.
was bad. And I'm going back. It's only 10 minutes down the road for me. So I'm going to go back and face him again because he messes with females in a bad way. My niece had her hair like fully up, dropped.
Whoa. Whoa. Wow. That and you saw that.
My friend saw that.
Wow.
I trust him. He saw it. She
Yeah.
told me that something went around her and breathed in her ear. It took me about an hour and a half to calm her down. So yeah, it
Poor
was
thing.
bad.
That'd have freaked me out, man.
Well, she never had experience before.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
asked for it all night. Then it was toward the end of the night, and she got it. I'm like, you asked for it. You got it.
Is that place a pretty notorious spooky haunt place?
Um, I love it. I love Madison Seminary because there's different entities there. There's the nice ones, there's the mean ones. So you can go anywhere in that place. I think it's like 60,000 square feet. So you can go anywhere and get different vibes. And usually the attic doesn't mess with guys, but I decided that night that it's time to stand up to me. So I'm a big dude. Like I'm not small.
Mm.
Like you want to stand up to me? Let's go.
And
So,
he gave you the spooks, man.
oh, it gave me the spooks, dude. You should see me, dude. I should post it sometime because it was all on video camera. I'm like, yeah, step up to me. About 10 minutes later, hey, dude, we're cool. Like, yeah, like,
We're
high
cool,
five,
man.
dude.
Dude, that's awesome. So is that the darkest place you've been?
um, no, I think Bel Air House in Ohio.
Okay. Dude, I've heard
Um,
about the Bel Air house. What is the story behind that place?
so the guy who owned it owned the coal mines there. Below that house was actually an explosion that killed, I think, 21 people.
Mm.
Native American burial grounds behind his house, a lot of clan members around that village, city. So there's a lot going on in that city itself. His sister passed away. He did a lot of seances there, trying to bring his sister back. So that's the down low on the house. Whatever's in the basement is supposedly evil. And I'm a big believer that evil stays in the basement until you don't recognize it. Then it will venture out from the basement. So it was I had some experiences there. My teammates had some experience there. My daughter had experience there. So I went back twice. I think it's changed. I think whoever, I don't want to give too much because actually have a podcast coming up with Ghost Sister Mandy.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I went with her last month to the Bel Air house to figure out what's going on there. So
Mhm. Do you feel like you guys obviously you don't, no big reveals tonight, bro. You got the big pod coming, but do you feel like you have some did you get some definitive answers?
I don't think I believe we got answers.
Cool.
I have not asked them what they feel, but we'll find out. I think it's April 9th on our podcast at what they felt. And
Yeah.
Mandy did say the vibe has changed there. So we'll see what she says.
Now, when they say the vibe has changed, do you think it's possible that things have left? Do you think somebody may have cleansed the place? Like, or do things just move on?
In my view of this place, I think something I kicked out. I think it moved on. So that's my theory. And again, I don't want to spoil what my thoughts are on that because
Mm-hmm.
the podcast coming up. But I believe that if it's your house, say for you, if something bad's there and people investigate it, say something bad's there, it's your choice to kick it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the vibe can't change.
Yeah. So you
So
feel that we in the human realm have dominion over the spirit realm?
I think if you're strong enough,
Okay. Cool. Cool. So then do you believe in a heaven, like a final resting place for spirits, or do we go back into the fabric of the universe? Is there a reincarnation?
they ever get deep now.
Oh yeah, baby, existential.
So heaven, hell. I mean, this has been brought up in my way my brain thinks here, which is random. But are the people that are trapped here don't believe in heaven and hell? That's why they're still here. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's a heaven and a hell. If you don't have a belief in heaven and hell, where does your energy go? Does it just stay here? I believe there's a heaven and hell. I believe there's a higher place we go to. And that's just my belief. But if you don't believe that, is it possible you just stay here?
Fascinating. That's an interesting point to think about for the people who don't subscribe to a higher being or a higher level of existence. Are they still entitled to go to a higher level of existence if they don't believe in that? That's a fascinating perspective, especially to think that maybe that's why people are still here is because they don't know how to move on, or they don't know where they're going or how to get there. Um, do you think that it is your job as an investigator to help people move on
No,
or help spirits?
no.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people believe they investigate to find out about the afterlife. I'm not about that.
Mhm.
I will find that out sooner or later. As we talked before, you live, you die. I think the biggest thing is keeping their memories alive.
Yeah.
And that's why I investigate is to get their story straight and keeping their memories alive. That's all I care about.
And do you feel like as an investigator, you can go into a scenario and learn enough about a potential spirit and their motivations to tell their story?
I hope so.
Cool.
Maybe they're trapped here because their story's not straight.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's why they stay around because their story is not straight. Maybe I can straighten that story out and they can move on. But my job is not to move them on. My job is to get their story straight.
Mhm.
I love history. I love people's stories. So, and I always say, like, there's a famous room in Madison called Sarah's Room. And I posted a little meme about that. Like, someone, hey, Sarah, you here? And some dude in a corner saying, I'm not effing Sarah. You know,
Yeah.
is that possible? Just because one person walks in there and says, hey, there's a spirit here named Sarah, not everybody believes it. But some dude named George in a corner. I mean, that's my thought on it. Like, how do we know that's Sarah?
Yeah, yeah. I've always been curious about that, like, in the Sally house in Kansas, that's a big one in Atchison, Kansas. How do we know it's Sally? There are people there that swear that that's it, but there's another side. And my friend Jason is one who says there's no historical evidence whatsoever that there was a person named Sally there. That there is a Sally buried in the Atchison cemetery, and that people put that story together. But I agree with you, man. It's so fascinating how these legends become uh, solidified, and people are so confident that that's the specific spirit that's there, that's been there for hundreds of years. Just curious, man. It's curious how these things go about, especially when sometimes the evidence suggests otherwise. You heard
Yeah.
the man there, like it's supposed to be Sarah. Why? But George is out there being like, bitches, George is here and he's ready to party. And Sarah ain't here no more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all fascinated with that, man. That's part of why I enjoy the 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 investigator's interpretation. And one thing, Ryan, that I have found is that when I was in school, bro, I hated history. I hated it. I was terrible at it. It did not do anything for me. But now that I've gotten older, I love history, and I find that a lot of people who are interested in the paranormal are also interested in history. Were you always that way, interested in history, or was that something that correlated to your love for the unknown?
I think I liked history because I always believe history repeats itself.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But when I got into the paranormal more and more, it's the history that intrigues me. If you don't like history, you shouldn't be in paranormal
Hmm.
because they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
That's my belief.
Yeah. I see that too, brother. Absolutely.
So, I mean, again, Sally House, who knows? Maybe it's dark, evil, whatever you want to call it, because it's not Sally. I
My
mean, who knows?
very first paranormal experience, I wrote it off, but it was at the Sally house, and it was just voice boxes saying my name. And when the investigators that were there were like, "Oh, are you Nate?" Because I'm bright white at this time, when I just walk in the basement and this guy's in the corner asking it questions, and it says my name, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not right. And then he says, "Are you Nate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Nate." And he said, "Okay, what's on Nate's shirt?" And it said a lion, and I was wearing a shirt with a lion on it. I was like, "Okay, I'm out of here." But do you know, my cynical brain said, "Okay, obviously someone in the office in the Atchison organization, the home office for Atchison, where I bought those tickets. Obviously, someone called that guy, and they were able to program to that. And but my wife was like, "How would they know when you were there?" And but that was the cynic in me trying to write that off. But that was
Yeah.
my very first experience. It happened in the basement, and then when we went upstairs, it happened again. And uh I always tried to play that off, but I think there was something there. But I don't know how it knew my name, or how it knew me, but you know, whatever. That was just easy enough for me to say, whatever, instead of trying to scare the hell out of myself digging into it. But Ryan, I have come all this way. I gotta know, bro. Are you into aliens? Do you believe?
Why wouldn't I?
Come on, enlighten me, bro. Let me have it.
I mean, the fact is if we can believe in something we can't see, why wouldn't we believe in aliens?
Yes.
There has to be something else out there. We are not the only planet. There has to be other life forms out there.
I'm with you,
So,
dude. I'm still shocked at how many people choose to remain ignorant to the possibility and to the evidence that is continuing to be leaked out, that there are things happening in our world, in the skies, that we cannot explain, that are far superior to any type of technology that anybody has on earth. But yet people will still dismiss us, me When I say us, I mean believers in
Yeah.
UFOs and alien life, dismiss us as crazy. And I'm just like, "Are you nuts?" With all the evidence out there. I even posted something, former President Obama was on a podcast recently, and the guy asked him, "Are aliens real?" And he said,
Yeah.
"Well, they're real," but then he goes on to say, "Well, they're not here and whatnot." And I said, "Well, that was a Freudian slip." And I had people arguing with me, "Why is that a Freudian slip?" Well, because the next day he put out a statement saying, "Well, I'm just weighing the odds and the averages, that there's probably something out there." No, that was a Freudian slip. He knows exactly what is going on. But people were still arguing with me over that. And I just don't understand why so many people are not open to believing in an alien life. I don't feel as though it disenfranchises religion and Christianity people. I don't believe that. I don't believe that saying there's aliens disproves Jesus or anything like that. I don't believe that. Is that why, Ryan? Why are people so against this?
People are scared of the unknown. It's plain and simple. If they can't see it, they can't feel it, they're scared. So that's what makes paranormal groups fascinating, because we do believe, because we had our own experiences.
Hmm.
Now, how many people will call you crazy because you had your own experience? Again, if you're abducted by an alien and you came down and told people, how many people would say you're crazy?
Oh, probably a lot, man.
Yeah.
A lot. Hell, I met Travis Walton, who is the gentleman who had the experience with Fire in the Sky. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie or read his book. It's a scary movie from the 90s. I met him at Alien Fest in Roswell, New Mexico, I believe in 2016. It was either 2016 or 2017. I met him, and he was nice enough and gracious enough, and he must have found me somewhat interesting, because he sat down and we talked for 20 or 30 minutes after his presentation. And he still, people don't believe. There are a lot of people out there who do not believe his experience, and I was one of them. I was like, man, there's just something off about this. But he was so genuine, and he definitely made me more of a believer, but I was very skeptical up
Yeah.
until talking to him. So you're exactly right, man. If I came back and said I was abducted, people would think I have just lost my marbs, man.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way the life we live in right now is, if you see something like I have a ghost in my house, 90% will people tell you BS.
Mhm.
That's just life. I mean, I actually wrote one word down. There's a whole podcast. It was about your mom, comfort. You know, like, did that give you comfort knowing that your mom is looking out for you?
Yeah, I mean, there are still times I still struggle with the skeptic. I still struggle with being a skeptic. And my mom, if she is here, which everybody else in my house believes that she is, I'm on the fence about it. I think that she is, but she never really interacts with me. She definitely interacts with my kids, but that was who my mom was. My mom was put on this planet to be a mom, and my dad was the worker. Mom worked in schools whenever my brother and I were in school, and then she stayed, and she loved kids. And my brother and sister-in-law never had kids. So, and then my wife and I had our first when we were 34. We had our first. So, and then she never got a chance to meet Penelope. She passed when Kelton was 3. And so my mom's anniversary, we're coming up on 3 years on the 31st. 3 years of her passing. And she seems to interact with Kelton a lot. Kelton, my son, that was her pride and joy. She watched Kelton every day. She loved Kelton because she always wanted grandkids. And Kelton came into our my wife and I's bedroom the other night and said that he saw Nana in his room and it had scared him. And my wife said, don't be afraid of her. You know, she's here just looking out for you. But in the back of my head, I'm like, this is bullshit, man. I never see any of this stuff. Bunch of horse shit. But it does bring me comfort. I just wish she would interact with me. Like, hey, I'm the son. How come you don't interact with me? But it just seems that her business is looking over her grandkids.
Yeah.
And like she's like, okay, I raised you. You're gonna be fine. And if you're not fine, well, you had the tools to be fine. But my grandkids, I'm gonna protect them. So it does. It definitely gives my son comfort. Sometimes he's startled by the things that happen. And I know that when Penelope was sick last week and the puzzle with the baby shark tune where it just kept saying grandma shark and then grandma over and over again, that definitely freaked them all out. So I guess mom was just adamant to be known, that just adamant to let everybody know she was there. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I would love to say it brings me more comfort, but there's still a little bit of the skeptic in me because I haven't had a lot of those experiences personally. Whereas if I did have those experiences with mom here, I would definitely uh sign off on it. But man, it's happening to everybody except me. And I don't understand it, Ryan. What am I doing wrong here?
She raised you, so
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably like, "You're good."
Yeah, she's tired of me. She doesn't want anything to
Yeah,
do with me.
you're good. I mean,
And I drive by the cemetery almost every day, and I stop and roll down my window and I talk to her for a little bit. And I'm like, Mom, come see me. Leave me a sign or something. Come say hi. And she just would rather interact with my kids. Whatever. I'll deal with it. How
yeah.
about Bigfoot, Ryan? I
I
told Jason I would ask, are you a Bigfoot guy?
I mean, there has to be something out there. I mean, you go all the way back to the Native Americans, and they had interaction with Bigfoot.
Did they really?
That's what they say.
No
So,
kidding, man. See, I didn't know those legends went that far back. That's
oh,
awesome.
they go way back, and I believe because they looked at Bigfoot as a, I don't want to say a god, but something higher up.
Mhm.
And people are wondering, why isn't Bigfoot interacting with us?
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Okay, so what would we do if, we'll just say, someone goes in the Appalachian Mountains, kills a Bigfoot, and there is evidence of a Bigfoot? What do you think would happen?
I think everybody would be out to get themselves a Bigfoot.
So Bigfoot's probably standing there looking at us saying, F that.
Mhm.
I am not doing this. It would be mass hysteria.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely, man. I mean, the cryptid legends, if any of those came up, um, it would be wild. It would definitely mass hysteria, man. If UFOs popped up tomorrow, I think it would scare people. If
Yeah.
the Loch Ness monster was caught, or they found evidence of that, that would scare people. Bigfoot. Um, I love the idea of cryptids, man,
Yeah.
because I have seen things in the sky that I couldn't explain. But I always bust Jason up a little bit because he owns Bigfooting Kansas. And I'm like, dude, there is no Bigfoot. We would have seen one by now. And man, he will go at me with that. And I think he thinks they're kind of shapeshifters. Do you buy into that?
Um, I don't know. I mean, there's so many different theories out there, shapeshifters, um, government. I mean, the government did actually invest a lot of money into Find Bigfoot because of their camouflage capabilities. It was a
What?
military thing. Yeah.
Really?
So, I mean, is it possible? I think there's something out there. If I was Bigfoot, I want nothing to do with the human world again because I would be hunted. And if they caught a Bigfoot, you just be in a lab. Why would you want that?
Yeah, I don't think we as humans give any credence that we would we would be anything other than disappointing. if we found anything like that. You know, I don't think we would be receptive
No,
to learning about them. We would stick them in a lab and study, study, study. You're exactly right.
I mean, you talk about Roswell, right? Same
Yeah,
concept.
yeah, man. And dude, I'm telling you, bro, in the next couple years, I am gonna get on that farm. The last people, as far as I know, that were on that farm were the History Channel. And there's a plaque out there where the apparent crash happened. Now, my boy Jason with Road Trip, he says that that's not where the crash happened, that the crash happened in another spot, and this whole thing was a diversion. And I haven't and I've never heard anything like that before. I believe it happened on that ranch. Um, and I want to get out there, man. Not like I'm gonna find anything, but once again, that's just what I do. I try to get out there, get a vibe of the place, and then tell the story, you
Yeah.
know? And that's really all I do. The cool thing is that there's a place in Kansas called the Delphos Ring. And if you look up pictures of it, you can see where this apparent spaceship was. There's a big circle out in this farmland. And over the year, nothing would grow there. And then the people apparently covered it up. And the History Channel was out there also, and then it's in a small town in northern Kansas. They shut it down. Nobody's been out there. They don't let anybody on the farm. Well, we were contacted, and I'm going to get to go look at it.
Mhm.
And I'm going to try to take some pictures and see what I can see. I'm going to try to get some radiation detectors to see if there's any radiation in that area or whatnot. So I'm telling you, man, like sometimes these there are days when I see people, and I don't know if you do this, Ryan. There are some people who post 6, 7, 8 times a day. Man, they're posting their AI supernatural things. They're posting what they had for lunch. They're posting what they're thinking while they're on the toilet. And I'm like, crap, man, I gotta post more. But no, I don't. I like I'll post,
Yeah.
I'll post when I have an idea or something. But I always wonder if I need to be doing more because every time I post, every it's just another opportunity that might lead me to where I want to go with my son, you know? That's
Yeah.
honestly the reason I continue to do it is because it makes me so happy, but it also makes him happy and he thinks of these as adventures, you know?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, dad, where are we going next?" And I'm like, "Dude, you're not going to any of these places. But when you get a little older, buddy, you get to come to all these places." So, man,
Oh,
I
yeah.
hope over time it happens.
I mean, when your kid smiles, you smile.
Dude, absolutely. He is my pride and joy, and I wanna include him in more of the stuff, but then at the same time, the internet's a weird place for kids, and
Yeah.
I don't want to subject him too much to these things. But he's always in the background knowing that if dad gets to do anything cool, he at least gets to know that I'm doing it for him, or because most of these places don't allow kids
Right.
to go into these facilities or whatnot. But I always ask, like I know I'm going to the Missouri State. Are you friends with McKenna with MT
Yeah.
Paranormal? Because I
Yeah.
thought wasn't she gonna be on here?
She was, but I said we're gonna be a short podcast, so we're gonna do another one. So
Ah, she heard the short podcast and she ducked out. Oh man, I'm gonna
oh
have
no,
to give
I
her some
told
crap
her like
about
let's
that.
just do another one. So no, McKenna's awesome. I mean, you talk
Yeah,
about
she's
dolls
so
and all
cool.
that stuff, but I
Is
mean,
she into the haunted dolls?
oh dude, she
Dude, Mac, what are you doing with the dolls?
she was one of my first podcasts on when I started doing lives.
Yeah.
And I reach out to her and I'm like, I have no idea what the hell I'm getting myself into. Like, this girl's gonna be crazy. She's gonna be like out there. No, she's cool as hell though. So
Dude, yeah,
um
she's a blast, and we're
yeah, we
going
message each other all the time.
she is such a cool girl. We're going in May. I'm a few other teams, some of my good friends in Offbeat Paranormal, which I want to say that Phil and Amanda, they got married today. Boom, y'all.
Congrats.
They're gonna lock themselves in a bedroom for at least the next 3 days, and then they'll slowly pop out on. And then the cool thing is, dude, is that they're Offbeat Paranormal, and they planned this haunted excursion where they have gone to multiple locations, and they call it their haunted honeymoon. And man, I
Okay.
just think that is bitching. I think that is so cool, and I hope they had an awesome wedding day, and I hope they have a great honeymoon. But they're one of the groups that's going, and we're McKenna. We're going to the Missouri State Penitentiary in May, and Kelton will be able to tour that. He'll be able
Okay.
to come with me when we tour it, but then they're going to investigate, and he won't be able to do that liability type stuff. But I tried to get him into Topeka when we were there just a couple weeks ago at the Wardmead Manor, and no, they're yeah. I mean, these places are pretty particular about no children, and I
Yeah.
understand that. We're moving around and going into places, and a lot of this stuff that we're interacting with is antique, are antiques, and I'm sure they don't want little kids running around, running into things, getting scared, and knocking stuff over. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. McKenna actually messaged me the other day because I invited her to, I rented out Billy Creek Village, the whole village,
Okay, cool.
and Indiana State Sanitarium. We're going to do those back to back. So we've been talking about doing investigations. I'm like, if you want to fly into Indianapolis, it's kind of on my way. I'll just pick you up.
Dude, yeah.
And she's like, she messaged me the other day that, okay, this might be a possibility. So might
Now,
pick her
Ryan,
up. And
you're in New York, right?
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So what are some, besides the place you told me? Uh
Madison.
yeah, where are some other historic and kick-ass places
Oh, man.
around that area?
They call Ohio one of the most haunted states in the United States.
Okay.
There's a lot. I mean, you have Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption was filmed there. I just did that a couple of weeks ago.
You were there at the Shawshank?
Yeah, I
Nice.
was at yeah, Bel Air House, Ross House, Prospect Place, Bill Manor, Fairfield. There's a lot around. I mean, they're popping up everywhere now,
Mhm,
so it's kind of hard to say what's haunted, what's not haunted.
mhm.
Is it just a business, or is it actually haunted? So we go there, try to figure it out. So, but yeah, no, Shawshank was cool. I didn't get any feelings there, so it is what it is.
Man,
We actually handcuffed someone into solitary.
oh, wow.
27 Spirits he's on now. He got candlelight in the attic solo for 45 minutes. So
Dude, 27, what are you doing, bro?
he was hoping for that. So we had 7 people in a vote, and the number one vote got the attic. The second vote got the chair room where I guess old Sparky was, I'm guessing. I don't know. And they were, what were they? Blindfolded? Yeah, they were blindfolded with noise enhancing headphones on.
Mhm.
And the third was the whole handcuffed. So
That's when you don't wanna be the popular one in the group. Yeah, you don't wanna be the one who gets voted to go, and dude, man, you freaking paranormal investigators, you all are so fearless and crazy. Like, for your newbies, you're like, "Hey, newbie, you've never investigated before. We're gonna put you in this dark ass thing, and we're gonna just let you sit in there by yourself, and you're not allowed to come out for, like, 30 minutes." Man, the first time I ever did anything, that happened, and dude, it just legit. Hey, is that Kelton? Are you here? Come here, Kelton, come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. My son's the real star, but dude, they did that to me. And
so Felton.
Kelton, say hi. Can you say hi? So yeah,
Hi.
dude, this guy right here, man, he is the here. Look up so everybody can see. He is the reason that I continue the Spooky Bro mission. Uh, Tell everybody how much you like Ghostbusters and stuff. Do you like Ghostbusters? But yeah, dude. So he every time that I'm like, you know what, man, this I'm not gonna continue to do this anymore. Uh he always asks, like, hey dad, where are we going next? Are we gonna go explore and go do some haunted stuff? And I gotta say, man, he's a lot of fun with that. And and Ryan, I know you said you have kids. I'm sure you feel the same way. And dude, how cool is it that your daughter is interested in this?
Yeah. It's all about making memories.
Yeah, dude.
That's
And
about.
that's the fire of it, man. It's that. Bro, I've got to jump off here.
Yep.
I'm gonna eat a little dinner and then go uh we're watching this. I told my son we were gonna watch have you heard of the new Anaconda? It's got Jack Black and Paul
Yeah.
Rudd in it.
Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't watched it yet though.
My wife and I watched it and we're like, all right, at least Kelton could watch part of it. So yeah, hopefully no one in your audience is like, I can't believe you would let your son watch that. But he is a master of close. What, do you want to talk to him?
Wait, I want to tell you something.
Okay, well, come here and tell him. Come here and tell us.
No, I want to tell you.
Oh, he said he wants to tell me something.
In that terracotta, there's a snake in it.
Oh yeah, there's a big snake, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Dude, hey, thank you for having me on. And to everyone in your audience, man, thank you for making me feel so welcome. And bro, I would love to come back on one of these days.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody watch Spooky Bro 316. I'm sure you already follow him because he has 11,000 followers. But keep following him, keep liking everything, keep sharing everything. And Nate, I will talk to you later.
Ryan,
And
bro,
little
thank
man,
you for having me on, man.
Yeah, little man, you need some Trap Soul pajamas.
Say hi. Tell him you want some Trap Soul pajamas. Say, yeah, I want it. Tell him you want it. Yes, we got some Trap Soul pajamas. You tell me what I need to do to get some of that, and I will send you a fat check because you're right. He needs some Trap Soul pajamas.
I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you later, man.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you for having me. Let's do this again, man.
Will do. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.